is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
I have so much fun expressing myself without filters. Do you have a filter? You might want to, what do they call it when they drop a depth charge? You might want to 10-6 that filter. Anyhow, welcome back to the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire, where truth, logic, and common sense rules the damn day, the damn week, the damn month, the damn year, the damn life. 76 years clean and sober. That's why my middle finger works better than your middle finger. So welcome back to the celebration of freedom. And it's all about being in charge of your life. Let me share a couple little ditties. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm going to play the Star Spangled Banner again for the swearing-in session in Austin, Texas on January 14th for the great Pat Curry and real conservatives, because there are a few. There's not many, but there's a few here in Texas. And at the swearing in, I will unleash a birdland. Maybe I'll use this birdland. How beautiful is this bird? Thank you, Gibson Custom Shop. You people are animals. Look how beautiful that is. I got a little tuning device on there, thanks to Calvin Ross at Lone Star Music in Jackson, Michigan, yeah, right, in Waco, Texas. But look at that great white buffalo. It's got broadhead inlays with my name and my script. I got the Gretsch shifter. You know, I put a Gretsch strap knob on all my guitars so I can shift better, because I do a lot of shifting. Anyhow, thank you, Gibson Custom Shop. But I will play the national anthem. I'll have Calvin Ross there and maybe Chris Hadley. But a big salute to my musical friends. How about the music? I mean, here it is, 2025. And my music is more important and more fun and more inspiring than ever. I hear heroes of the military constantly, and athletes. I mean, gung-ho, hardcore warriors of law enforcement, and Delta Force and Special Forces and Green Berets and Army Rangers and Navy SEALs. They say they play Stranglehold, the ultimate song of defiance. Got you in a stranglehold, baby. You best get out of my way. That's the American theme song. In fact, Don Trump Jr. came out to Stranglehold because it epitomizes the sense of independence, rugged individualism, defiance, truth, logic, and stand-up warriors. So thank you for the support of my music. But right now with Johnny Big here in Waco, Texas, and John Kutz, and the great Jason Hartless and Greg Smith. Do I have the greatest bands in the world, or am I the luckiest guitar player to ever unleash fury? Sensual, stimulating physics of spirituality, rhythm and blues, rock and roll, soul music, fury on a Gibson Birdland guitar, as inspired by the great Jim McCarty of Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels, originally Billy Lee and the Rivieras, with Johnny Bonangic on drums. They both just had a birthday party. I think they're 78 or something like that. I know I respect my elders. But anyhow, thank you for all these years of musical outrage. I don't think anybody in the history of music has possibly had more fun than I am still having with my music. We're going to do some Uncle Ted sheet kicker speakeasies here in Texas this winter. I don't have a list of the places. I think one of the places is called The Grain. The Grain! So hysterical. It's like a feed mill. Rock. Man, that's some nasty shit. Anyhow, thank you, Calvin Ross and Chris Hadley and Johnny Big and John Kutz. Might even bring Jason Hartless. Jason Hartless is working on the Ted Nugent Vault He went back into my barn in Michigan and started digging through these ancient encrypted, like the pyramid boxes from pre-dawn prehistory, and found all these live performances and live demos of the original songs with the Amboy Dukes and the Ted Nugent Band and the damn Yankees, the great Tommy Shaw. What a musical monster. Jack Blades on the road with Night Ranger. You got to see Night Ranger. You got to see Michael Cardelloni with Leonard Skinner. My musicians are the most demanding, the most in-demand musicians in the world, because if you graduate from the Ted Nugent School of militant soul music, rhythm and blues, rock and roll, you are confirmed, irrefutably, globally revered as a bad mofo. I think that's Sadie. Yes, Sadie's. Well, go get him. Get him, Jackson. You get him, Jackson. You get him. Get him, get him, get him. If there's an intruder, I won't even have to shoot him. My dogs will kill him and eat him. I'll just be there to mop up. When I call 911, I just tell them to bring a dustpan and a broom because there's going to be a mess. Anyhow, so my musicians, we will do these Uncle Ted sheet kicker speakeasies. And we just get up there and play Amboy Dukes music and James Brown music and Rolling Stone music and Yardbirds music and Ted Nugent music and Damn Yankee music and Chuck Berry music and Little Richard music and Bo Diddley music. It's outrageous. So thank you. I'm 76 this year. I look 76 with this old grandpa beard. But I'm feeling mighty good. Yes, those are bags under my eyes, but I've expressed more times than often. They're Remington ammo bags. Remington 200 grain Corlock 10 millimeter. By the way, thank you everybody at Glock too. I mean, here's a great story. Here's my Glock 10 millimeter Model 20 Remington Corlock 200 grain wallopers. And so I was having a little bit of trouble. I wanted to take the old Crimson Trace laser off my Glock. And this might be boring to some people, but people who have a ballistically coefficient mindset of critical thinking and adventurous Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea life adventure cravings, you're still with me. So I called Glock and I said, Mike, I need work on my Model 20. Because I had my buddy, great gunsmith, took the laser off, and then I went to the range to shoot it, and the whole slide went flying. Not good. So I went to my arsenal, and I got out one of my many other Glock Model 20 10 millimeters, loaded up with Remington 200 grain Corlock, and I'm back in business. When I hit a steel plate with my Remington Corlock 10 millimeter ammo, it doesn't go ping, it goes pang! It knocks it so violently that it falls down and comes back up. Anyhow, so I sent my Glock to Glock in Smyrna, Georgia, and they looked at it and went, what did you do to this gun? We have never seen a Glock so worn out and so beat up in all our life. Can we have this Glock to put in our Glock museum to show how it continues to shoot even after such abuse? It's like my guitars, I abuse them. I milk fire and blood and spirit from my guitars. I milk fire and blood and spirit and ballistically coefficient mayhem from my pistols and my rifles, my long guns, my handguns. And so I said, yeah, you can keep my Glock 10 millimeter, put it in the museum to show the wear and tear from a crazed guitar player who shoots every day. I'm no Rob Leatham or Rob Pincus, but I can hit what I'm aiming at. This Glock 10 millimeter is a 100-yard hunting gun. Why, yes, I have dead deer to prove it. You could ask that deer if it's a 100-yard hunting gun, but he can't speak because he's dead. Anyhow, so they replaced my Model 20 with a Model 40 10 millimeter, which has a longer slide, a longer barrel, but it's the same 10 millimeter masterpiece from Glock. And masterpiece from Kimber Springfield Armory. I have Bill Wilson Combat 10 millimeter Hunter. I have a SIG 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter, what a great caliber. Anyhow, welcome back to the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire, where truth, logic, and common sense, goodwill and decency, positive spirit, positive energy, positive attitude, heavy on the positive attitude, will set you free. So let's pray for our friends in California, and let's pray that Donald Trump stays alive so he can implement the will of the people, not to be confused with all the traitors that he's surrounded by at the Jimmy Carter funeral. None of those presidents at Jimmy Carter's funeral are patriots. They're scammers. They are the military industrial congressional complex that want to enrich themselves over the dead bodies of military heroes. And speaking of dead bodies over the military heroes, what happened to the Department of Defense? It used to be the Department of War. 1948, the year I was born, they changed it from the Department of War. That's what I want. I want a Department of War. I don't want to defend America. I want to wage war on anybody that threatens America. I don't want to wait for someone to break into my house. I'm going to snipe him as he enters the property. Well, that's outrageous. Whatever. It's proper. So let's keep President Donald Trump alive. Let's continue to tell our mayors and our congressmen and our senators and our chief of police and our state trooper commanders and our sheriffs and our aldermen. If you live in Chicago, you have an alderman. What the hell that is, I don't know. Let's make sure everybody knows we support the policies of we the people that Donald Trump campaigned on, and we want them implemented. We want him safeguarded. I'm going to Mar-a-Lago on February 18th, the great Harry Smith. And my son, Toby, my son, Rocco, Shemaine and I are going to go, and they're going to give me some Freedom Defender Award, which is actually, I'm not a freedom defender. I'm a freedom promoter and a freedom celebrant. Don't have to defend perfection. You should promote it and celebrate it like I do it right here on Real America's Voice.